So you may be thinking, is Mexican sunflower invasive or not? The short answer is maybe. It is considered highly invasive by the government of Florida. For a food forest environment, Mexican sunflower is exactly what you want for chop and drop material. It grows fast, you can chop it back, and it'll grow back fairly quickly. It's hard to kill, and it does spread, but it doesn't really spread too fast. Let me show you something. So this patch of Mexican sunflower started out as 2 sticks. I put one in the ground right here and one in the ground over there. And it did grow pretty fast. It's more of a clumping type growth. And I probably did plant it too close to my mango tree because Mexican sunflower is very good at getting nutrients out of the ground. The only reason this patch got so crazy wild is because Hurricane Ian came along and knocked the plant over. And then when that happened, all of the big stalks that it knocked over rooted and made new plants. That's where this big jungle came from. I have 2 goals here. One is to harvest this chop and drop material from my row over there that I'm fixing today. Second goal is to make this sunflower jungle less intrusive to my 2 mango trees that I have planted here. So the first part is going to be chopping. My 2 favorite tools for chop and drop are these machetes. I'll show you this one first. This one's really good for grabbing a whole bunch of stalks like that and just cutting them. This machete, on the other hand, is a powerhouse. This is how I use this machete. You can see how fairly easy it is to chop and drop Mexican sunflower. So I'm going to go ahead and chop and drop this whole jungle, and I'll show you how I'm going to make it less intrusive after that. It took me about 2 minutes to chop that Mexican sunflower. Easily took me another 10 minutes to make a pile. It helps to have the right tool. And speaking of the right tools, good machetes are very important in a food forest or a garden. I'll put links to Amazon for both of these machetes in the description and a pinned comment. So the main reason I don't consider this invasive is because it's not really hard to get rid of, even after it's turned into a jungle and rooted all over the place. That's all you got to do. So I'm going to take advantage of how easy it is just to pull these out by the roots. And I'm going to transplant them along the fence row over here so that I have a never-ending supply of Mexican sunflower. There it is. It's all clear now. I left a row of Mexican sunflower here. It's far enough away from my mango trees. Those ones are still there. This original one, which started from just sticking a cutting right here, was kind of hard to get out. I'll admit to that. So I did have to use a shovel. My neighbor recently put in a fence, so a lot of this landscape has now been tore up. It's bare dirt, or sand, I should say. So I transplanted those Mexican sunflower plants in a row here. I'll have a lot of chop and drop material from this, and these plants won't be crowding out any fruit trees any longer. And right here are the 2 very large ones that I pulled up that I had to use a shovel for. I didn't get too fancy when transplanting these. I just dug a small little hole and plopped the whole bush right down into it. Should be fine, because in the rainy season, the way that I propagate this plant is I just take a cutting and stick it in the ground. 9 times out of 10 it grows.